Basically, the role model for me is my father. Every Sunday, he tried to take me to the church service. I went with him, but before, it was only because my father was and still is an authority figure for me. Yes, I realized that there were higher powers, that there was God, but like for most people, it was at the level of God is within me, that it was not mandatory. I believed that I could sleep late on Sundays and I could go to church at any time just to light a candle or ask for what I needed. But today, I almost never miss Sunday service. And there, I try not to ask, but to thank. Usually, before every fight, before every competition, we would go to the church to get the priest's blessing, and then went to the competitions. After the competitions, at my father's initiative, we went to the church, read a thanksgiving prayer. That lasted for a while. I only went to church when it was necessary, before or right after competitions. And even then, if it weren't for my father, I probably wouldn't have done that. I had an understanding that, yes, probably the Lord helped me, but most likely that it was my merit. I did it. Like, I trained hard and intensively. It felt like everything was consistent. I won the competition because I trained well. I was stronger than others. But today, you understand one thing. Yes, you train. Yes, you compete, and you win or lose. But the Almighty gives everything. He gives you the strength for training as well. In any case, every person receives talent at birth. The question is whether they discover that talent or not. Have they developed that talent or not? In my case, the Almighty gave me the talent for hard work in the gym, the talent that made me a boxer, the person I am today. However, this is starting to sink in me only now. Today, I understand that it's all thanks to the Lord. Without His support, without the will of the Almighty, I doubt that I would have achieved anything. Overall, it seems to me that we, Orthodox Christians, should attend church services whenever the priests are serving, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Whenever there is a service, we should be in church. However, as a rule, for us, lay people, it usually only happens on Sundays. And that's understandable. People are at work, people are busy. That's why we have Sunday. A day when, without exception, everyone should be in the church and thank the Almighty Lord for the fact that we are alive today, for waking up and for having something to eat. I don't think my answer will influence or help anyone. The only thing I know from personal experience is that you need to take a step or two towards God, and then He will take 10 steps towards you. I came to the Orthodox faith deeply and consciously not so long ago. I have been Orthodox all my life nominally. I was baptized. My family is Orthodox. I used to go to church when my father made me. However, I started growing consciously, spiritually, 2 or 3 years ago, after my defeat in the fight with Lopez. That was the moment that changed my attitude towards life and my attitude towards faith. It is said that a person's life changes after the age of 33. I never understood this before, but when I turned 33, I could feel it. It somehow coincided, the defeat and turning 33. That's when I realized that I could look at myself from the outside. I could see what I was doing wrong, the problems I had, the successes I had. I started to simply understand where they came from and from whom. If I used to think that the world revolves around me, at that moment I understood that it's not like that at all. Everything that I have today, and the same goes for anyone else, everything that is either given to us or taken away from us, it all comes from the Almighty, from the Lord. Moreover, it depends on how we live, what kind of life we lead. This feeling emerged in me relatively recently, after I understood what God is and what it means to be an Orthodox Christian. I had these doubts after I realized that. When I step into the boxing ring today, I no longer have that bloodthirstiness that I used to have. Before, I never thought about it. I understood only one thing. There is an opponent, and to win, you need to destroy him. Whether it was on points, through a knockout or a knockdown, the goal was to cause as much damage as possible. Today, that's gone. Thank God that's gone. For me, it's enough to win convincingly, to be head and shoulders above, and of course, to do it on points. In any case, it's a kind of sport where you're not immune from anything. But if there is an opportunity, when you feel that you are far superior to your opponent and you could knock him out, it's better not to do it. From experience and practice, I know that you can win a fight without having to finish off or destroy your opponent. Maybe not many people think about it, but your opponent also has parents, children, friends, loved ones who are watching and worrying about him. You should always put yourself in another person's shoes. Then you might start acting differently. My colleagues and near ones have various opinions on that matter. It varies greatly. What's important is what you feel and what you do. Each lamb will be hung by its tail, as the proverb goes. I have determined the truth for myself. I have determined where I am going and what I want. I try to do everything possible for that. You can draw parallels with your own parents. If someone mistreats or humiliates your parents, a normal reaction for anyone is to defend them. You will certainly stand up for your parents, risking your life if needed. The same works with the church, the temple, and the Orthodox faith. This is our mother, without whom we would perish. The reaction of any Orthodox person is to stand up in defense. Still, compared to how people defend the Orthodox Church, I follow it online. Compared to how they are persecuted, how they suffer, what I do, making some posts or expressing my opinions, I don't consider it serious support. In turn, the people who stand there defending the churches, risking their lives and freedom, they should be in the foreground. I came to the Kiev-Pечерsk Lavra several times to venerate the relics and got to know the monks there. They invited me and said that if I ever had the opportunity and time, I should come for obediences. After one of my fights, I returned and made a call asking for such an opportunity. We came for a short time, just half a day, did some work, and then went home. He is a very bright personality. People who have been growing spiritually for a very long time radiate a certain strength and power that the Almighty bestows upon them. It's difficult to find the right words, it's difficult to describe it, but you can feel this person's strength. You understand perfectly well that all of this comes to him through his prayers, through his efforts, through his love for the Lord. Perhaps it is through this that the Lord responds to his beatitude and gives him inner energy that another person can feel, even just being nearby. In order to comment on the actions of any individual, one must be very pure themselves. I don't consider myself to belong to that category. Therefore, it would be wrong to criticize someone today, to talk about it. I try to dig deeper within myself, to look at what I do, how I do it. I need to look more at myself, try to improve myself more. As for what is happening around us, of course it's disappointing. It definitely should not happen that way. It's painful to watch it, very painful. No matter from what perspective we look at it, it definitely should not happen. I've been listening to a song for a very long time, and recently it came up in my playlist again. I heard these words in it: to purify gold from impurities. This is what is happening to our church today. Right now, gold is being purified from impurities. How do I see our Orthodox Church in the future? Golden and flourishing.